my dome. Concrete walls, yeah, it's my home. Stockpile stacked with rations tight. Prep for the dark, we'll light the fight. Forage the woods, take what I need. Off-grid living, no time for greed. Barter goods in the shadow shade. Tactical steps in plans I've laid. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall. Prepared for the fall. Yeah, prepared for it all. Generators hum, a comforting sound. Blackout nights when chaos surrounds. Seeds in jars, yeah, we're growing life. Homestead and strong in a time of strife. No high-tech wires, no web to roam. Resilience beats the world unknown. Hands in the soil, hearts in the fight. Staying ready every day, every night. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall. Prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall. Prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Prepare for it all. When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlled in freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got the wrong kind of right.
That's not it. There we go. I think we got it. I think we got it. I was wrestling with oh my God. The what's the what's the words I'm looking for here? All the settings. I haven't gone live in so long that all of my settings were completely out of whack. Like totally everything just twisted up and bad and not good in a good way. So we've got our cup and looks like Debbie Chandler first. We got Sean showed up. Number 2, who will be the turd? Interesting stuff, guys. Interesting stuff. I am. I wish I was as. I wish I was prepared as I normally am, but late this last week, guys, I haven't done a live stream in 2 weeks. And not because I didn't want to, because I didn't miss you, or because you guys weren't at the top of my thoughts, but because life just kind of took over. It just kind of took over. Also, if you guys could do me a favor, give me a 5x5, that would be great. Let me know how my sound levels. I'm kind of curious because I do have some things running in the background that are kind of annoying me that are making noise. But the way this microphone is designed, it only takes commands from my voice. So you can't hear all the loud stuff in the background. Also, make sure that you guys check in so that I know that you are here and we can we can chat, we can talk. It says there's four of you in here, but I only see two check-ins. I also know that this was completely unscheduled, so there's a lot of people that won't show up. But like I said, I wanted to do a live stream anyway. We're going to set up our goals today. Let's see here. That's not it. That is definitely not it. Debbie Chandler, you showed up. Nope. 5 by 5. I don't even have the turd yet. All right, let's see here. We're gonna start. Let's do this. Let's go with, since this is all completely, we're gonna do all colors. 30 minutes. We're gonna set this for 1 hour. Um, we're kind of making sure. I'm kind of doing some different things here. Let's see here. We just started the goal. We got to try to keep Julie's snack bowl full. All right, I think I've got enough. I think I've got enough here. And we're gonna put one more ping out to to everyone at work, make their phones vibrate and do stupid stuff. Send now. And I think that's going to be about it. I think that's going to be it. We got some people popping in here. Yeah, I think that might do. That might be it. If you guys have something you want to talk about, do me a favor, put it in the chat, and we shall go from there. I wanted to start with the funniest thing that I see. It's always very funny to me. One of the things that people talk about, like you know, you make the big YouTube money and your people know who you are and things like that. And I always giggle a little to myself. Debbie Chandler, thank you very much. Guys, make sure you hit that like button for Debbie, given that $2. Hopefully that she didn't get nailed for any other money. Um, but I always think it's funny, so I wanted to show you something. And I do this from time to time, but it's always funny to see this. So whenever I make a video on YouTube, it automatically gets pushed over to a platform called BitChute. And it's BitChute is kind of like the YouTube where you can say anything that you want over there. But yeah, that's how much money I've made. My current balance. Can't take any money out until I hit $100. That's my current balance over all of the months that you see. And in fact, there's even more there. Let's see here. Let's go yearly. What do we got? Yearly. Yeah, that's I've made $1.32 in all of 2025. And what we've been through in 2026. It's kind of funny if you think about it. I just kind of giggle. I'll get these emails from BitChute saying, "Hey, we just got your revenue sharing thing." Yeah, okay. Revenue sharing for them is how much money they made off of a commercial that they put on my video that I didn't even ask for. That's revenue sharing for BitChute. If you did not know these things. Okay, so I guess let's start with some stuff that has happened that's kind of interesting. I didn't get too deep into it, so we're going to do that. We are going to do that right now. Um, yeah, let's push this button over here. And if you guys did not know this, this is kind of weird how this happened. It says Apple pulled Telegram from the App Store worldwide over a single user post. Oh, yeah, joy. Uh, one user out of more than a billion was enough to make Telegram restricted from every iPhone on the planet. Apple removed Telegram from the Apple Store worldwide on Monday night, then restored it roughly 40 minutes later. So their explanation. Let's see what their explanation is. We okay, whatever. I don't want to hide it. Just whatever. It's my highlighter is a pain in the butt. All right, so we briefly removed Telegram from the App Store after our review found content that violates our strict guidelines prohibiting child sexual abuse material. That's interesting. On their app? They discovered it on their app, and so they removed it from the App Store worldwide. It says the app was subsequently restored after the developer promptly removed the content and banned the user who posted it. Wow. So there was like, I guess their AI just wasn't good enough. Maybe that's what we've learned from this. Their AI just wasn't good enough because there's a distinct possibility that that's actually the case. Well, that's not good. A Telegram spokesman said that Apple had reported one user sharing the material and that the user was immediately banned, meaning the trigger was a single use on a platform that Telegram says has more than 1 billion monthly active users. Quote, the app was subsequently restored after the developer promptly removed the content and banned the user who posted it, the spokesman wrote. You know, you've got to wonder it's exactly how fast they can do these things. It's the technology is so amazing. Oh, that reminds me, I've got to find an article. I'm pretty sure I shared it, and we're definitely going to show this. We're definitely going to show this. Let me see if I can open that in a, let's open, open Smeshamy, open Smeshamy. Um, where are we at? Let's go ahead and push you over here. Like I said, I wish I was a little bit more organized, but I am not today. Once again, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, do me a favor, put something in the chat and we can roll from there. How is my sound? Because my meter says that I'm low, but I know that I'm not. I know that I'm not. I've been using this microphone all morning long to work on videos and such, but it just makes me wonder. It just makes me wonder. Okay, so looks like we still don't have deterred the person that says there's four of you in here, but there's nobody nobody else is checking in. So make sure that you do that. Okay. Um, I found this one yesterday. You guys are gonna love this. I put this in the members only Discord on Patreon. If you guys don't know, we have our own Discord. It's for members only, and we kind of hang out there and do and say whatever we want to because that's what members do. You know, membership has its privileges. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll over here and take a sip of coffee and read this to you. It is absolutely, how is Miss Julie? Debbie says, how is Miss Julie? Right now, Miss Julie is having a hard time. She had her chemo on Thursday, so it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What is today? Thursday? So 8 days. Um, the chemotherapy really messes up with her GI tract. And so today she's having a rough day. She's having a day where we probably won't go or do anything because distance between her and the ladies' room must be minimized at all costs. And but other than that, she's doing okay. She's doing okay. I mean, she had a good day yesterday. We went over. We actually drove to Chesapeake from here in North Carolina, about 3.5 hour drive, and then we had lunch with her kids at a place called Hot Pot, which I've never had before. It was a really good experience. We had a really good time. So yesterday I think was a really good day. And before that, the day before that, after supper, we had eaten so much food after supper the day before that that we actually she felt well enough to take a walk. So yes, and then it's Cindy Lou. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, and so every day is a different day. Some days are bad, and some days are good, and some days are better than others. But I think the really bad days um, are very few and far between. So thank you for asking. I do appreciate that, allowing me to tell you that story. Okay, so And once again, if you guys want to talk about anything, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. It could be news, it could be preparedness, it could be anything. Because, like I said, this is a completely unscheduled live stream, even though I took the time to make a thumbnail for the unscheduled live stream because I felt like that I needed to have that on hand. If I was just going to start doing live streams just cuz, then I should probably have a thumbnail for it. I hope you liked it. What'd you think of it? Put it in the chat. I thought it was simple. Okay, so getting to you guys are gonna love this. Like I said, I put this in the members only Discord yesterday, and I don't think I got the giggle factor that I should have gotten from it. So, um, this got posted yesterday. Breaking: police in Winona, Minnesota, are stunned after every single one of their flock cameras were suddenly removed in a single night. According to the police department, all 8 of the town's cameras were cut down and hauled away. Oh, by the way, the number was actually 10. Police are asking the public's help to identify the individual, but the police has been the public has been leaving comments like the flock cameras tore themselves down, or whoever did it was fishing with me, and whoever it was at Bible study with me. They're trying to portray this as something that is extremely serious. I mean, nobody should like the idea of, destruction of public property. But we have to realize that these flock cameras are out of control, completely out of control. And if you agree with me, do me a favor, put a one in the chat. We'll kind of wake the chat up with that question right there. Um, it's The problem with these flock cameras is, this is government overreach. There's a lot of variables where they talk about like where does the data go, how long is it stored for, and then it's like nefarious use. We only do this, that, and the other thing. It's like, okay, well, there was I think it was Glenn Beck who did an expose on these flock cameras, and it's like a fifth little 15-minute video that talk about it. And the bottom line was that there are people in law enforcement that are using these cameras for some down dirty stuff, and it's got to stop. And the only way it's going to stop, and here's the thing, these things just popped up. There's no city council meeting that said, "Hey, oh, by the way, guys, we want to set up these cameras and here's why, and they're going to do all these good things," right? Nobody did that. The cities and the municipalities, the counties, even some of the states are like, "Yeah, okay, let's do that because this is going to give us a tool where we can track these people down." And I actually did a video on flock cameras. I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, where we're talking about the good that the flock cameras can do. But guys, it's I hate to say it, but it's a very easy argument to say that these are against the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. It's very, very easy to say this. They're tracking us. They're tracking us and they're like, well, we're not using it for anything crazy, but we find out that they are. It's like, well, we could track down a serial killer so quickly now. It's like, really? Do you think that these people, do you think that human beings are not ingenious enough, that are not smart enough to outsmart these cameras? Do you think, does anybody really think that? Do you think that a serial killer who's probably killed multiple people hasn't figured out a way to defeat these flock cameras? I mean, it's just foolish. And the idea is that they're using them to 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 keep an eye on us is what they're doing. That's what this really all comes down to because there's no other way around it. It's like it's for your protection. It's like the eyes and ears of the nanny state. It's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. And so I think it's funny when someone cuts down every single one of these flock cameras. So they had to have known where they are. And at some point it's like just because the same car, they had to have gone and done their research and said that, oh, let's organize this and we're gonna go find these flock cameras, but once you find one, go home. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, then they're going to be like tracking this one dude, this one car. Oh, by the way, this car was here and here and here and here, and now we have a suspect. Do you see? I literally just figured that out in my head, and I don't almost know almost nothing about these cameras other than they're tracking the hell out of us. They're keeping data on us, right? So it's really easy to defeat them if you really want to pull some of this stuff off. I am not advocating for the destruction of public property, but I am saying that these flock cameras are in a simple word, evil, because they do not serve the public. They're trying to serve the public, but they're not serving the public. And even to the point where there is somebody posted a video in the members only Discord. That's right. If you're not a Patreon, you don't know these things. So look for the link in the description. And they literally showed where these flock cameras are being installed, where they're a danger. And so there's only supposed to be certain things. Within a certain distance of a roadway, okay? Otherwise, they're impeding on a safety zone that's created, right? And the idea is that if you run off the road, that you'll be able to avoid things. There won't be like this giant this sign that's this camera that's embedded in concrete because they are. That's how they put them in. They don't just like pound them into the ground. They put them in concrete, right? And so they're this thing is impeding on the safety zone in case somebody has to pull off the road. And in one case, they actually had one of the guys who installs and inspects for a state the guardrails. And what a lot of people don't know is that there's a 5-foot safety zone on the other side of a guardrail. Simply where you're not supposed to put anything at all because that guardrail is designed to flex, right? And if it hits something, then it's not going to flex. Steel pole, concrete, you're gonna hit this object on the other side, even if you push that guardrail over with your car. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to see that more and more and more and more. And it's something we should be very aware of. And if you're not out there talking, if you're not asking questions to your city council, if you're not doing FOIA requests to the organizations that are putting these cameras up, you're going to have a bad day. At some point, these cameras are going to be used against you, and you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. So, looks like we had Ian showed up. Good, Ian. Ian, hopefully you're staying safe on the road and only listening to me. Looks like you're having your coffee, so you might be stationary. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna go back and check. I don't see anything in any of the chats right now, so we are golden. But yeah, these FOIA these flock cameras, I can't like I can't say enough that we need to be very aware of where they are, and we need to be very aware of how they just mysteriously started showing up because they are going to at some point impact our lives. Uh, yep, waiting to be unloaded. I got you. So Ian, he's waiting to be unloaded. If you guys didn't know this, Ian's a truck driver. He's one of my longest followers. Tim was in here a little while ago. I don't know if he's ghosting right now. I think Tim is lurking. I think Tim is in lurker mode. Tim is one of my longtime followers as well. Um, but matter of fact, Cindy Lou has Debbie's been here for a long time. I mean, you guys, Sean has been here for a while as well. Yeah, you guys are some longtime followers. I appreciate you. Okay, let's see here. I want to talk about I want to talk about something that happened. I've got a video for you guys to listen to. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but I think you should listen to it because this is more encroachment. This is more encroachment and we should probably be aware of some of the things that that are happening. Okay. It's basically you're going to get told a story, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit because I think that it's important that you like don't try to have a ha ha, the chibich kind of maneuver when we start talking about our cell phones and law enforcement. So I'm going to start recording this one because I'm going to make a segment for this later. Okay, so in this particular case, we're going to be talking about cell phones and law enforcement, and this actually happened. So let me push this button and let's go. Let's go. I'm going to make sure the sound's coming through.
Yeah, the headline for this is, quote, "The government hopes to set a precedent." An interview with the man charged for allegedly wiping his Graphene OS phone. So, this man,
You guys
Samuel
are going to love
Tunnett,
this
tell
story.
me who he is and what happened to him when he landed in an airport last year.
Yeah, so Samuel arrives in an airport in January 2025. He was returning to the US from a vacation in the Dominican Republic. And he doesn't know this, but DHS ahead of time sends a warning to the airport and says, hey, essentially, we are monitoring this person. We would like you to stop him at the border, and we really, really want to get a hold of his phone. I'm paraphrasing what his lawyer told me, and obviously we'll get into more specifics.
Okay, so it all sounds legit right now, right? But yeah, stay tuned.
But he gets to the airport with that context. The officials there, asking a bunch of questions such as, can we search your bags? He says no. They do it anyway, as will become apparent. And as listeners probably know, the airport is a very unusual place when it comes to the US and what can be searched and what can't. They go through his bags.
This isn't all British.
Don't find anything of note or illegal or anything like that. They ask to search his person. He says no. They do that as well. He asks for a lawyer multiple times during this, and that is denied, even though he has the phone number of a lawyer on him. And then they get to the phone. And these, I believe, Customs and Border Protection officials really, really want to search that phone. They ask him to hand over the passcode. He declines to do so. There is a long back and forth where they say, look, we're going to get your phone one way or another. Like, we're probably going to break into it and all of that sort of thing. So why not just make it easier? And Samuel eventually does give over a code, which one of the officers types into the device. But then rather than unlocking the phone, his lawyer told me it went to a blank screen and then it displayed the Graphene OS logo. We'll talk about Graphene in a minute. But basically, what had happened was that the phone was wiped when the official entered that code. It didn't unlock it. It wiped everything on the phone and basically returning it to a factory state. And obviously, that, well, I would say that probably greatly annoyed the officials who were trying to gain access to it. And then, not to get too far ahead.
Yeah. And so if you're just now watching, or you're just starting to pay attention, what basically happens is, yeah, there's a code on these graphene phones where you can wipe it. You can do a factory wipe. And the idea is that it protects your information. It protects your data. And, it's fully, it's, oh, I don't want to jump too far ahead because we're not going to watch this whole video, but, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and push this button.
But then that is what these charges relate to, that he came to this airport, he was being searched there, provided the code, it wipes the phone, and now he's being charged with that. Although, I'll just stress, there's no warrant for this phone. There's no specific evidence the authorities have said that they need to go after. It's not like you have evidence of XYZ on your phone, hence we need to get it. He's being charged just for the wiping itself.
Before we continue, I think you should explain, why is Samuel even a person of interest? Is he a spy for a different country? Is he on America's Most Wanted list? What is the deal with Samuel?
Yeah. So we actually covered this case a while back. We broke news of it like last year in November or December when they got a hold of the indictment. And at the time, it was man is being charged for allegedly wiping his phone. And so we couldn't include much of this context, which is in response to your question. Even though I knew a lot of it, it wasn't clear enough to report. But now we can say that, you know, Samuel is part of the Stop Cop City activist movement in Atlanta, where I'm not going to go into everything about that. I'm sure people are aware of it. But basically, there's a grassroots movement that was protesting against the development of a law enforcement training facility on a certain piece of ground in Atlanta. And the protests range from, you know, just signs and
Okay, so you know, I want to know how you feel about this. Okay, put a one in the chat if okay. So here's the story. The story is guy goes through customs. They want to look at his phone. He wipes their phone. They get upset, and then we find out that he's part of like this organization that was like, I guess he's basically like a professional organizer, protester, something to that effect, right? So knowing those two facts, put a one in the chat if you think what he did was right. Put a two in the chat if you think what he did was wrong. I'm watching. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. Also, I want to thank Tim for popping in here and dropping $20 down. You know, 5 times 4 is still 20 in my world. Do me a favor, guys. Give him a number one in the chat, and or give him a thumbs up in the chat, because these things really do help. Uh, he he considers what I do tuition. He's paying tuition because um, you know, it's like I'm teaching stuff, and sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. Bradley showed up. What's going on, bro? Stuff. Stay safe, my friend. Stay safe. Also, I want to say hi to Grumpy Acres for dropping in. If you guys don't know that Grumpy Acres Farms or what's this actual Grumpy Acres Farms actually has a YouTube channel. It's pretty good stuff. I try to jump in there on his live streams as much as possible and watch his videos, and you should who I think he actually went live last night around 9 p.m., but that's well after Matlock and I go to sleep. So let's see here. Tim says, where did this happen? USA? Yes, it happened in the United States. My guess is it probably happened in Atlanta. There is an article that I'm going to bring over, and I can share this. If you guys like, I can share the link to this YouTube video. Let me throw that in there. Boom. All right, let's see here. Ian says, I may not agree with his politics, but he still has privacy rights under the Constitution. Yeah, exactly. It's like, so the question here is not, there's an overarching question that no one has talked about. And we're not going to, like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time watching somebody else's video, even if it's good. If you want to watch it, the link is right there. In fact, I'll put this full video's link in the address. Okay. But here's the thing, when entering the United States, what are your constitutional rights? I wonder if they are different. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer in your info should be yours. Yes, 100%, 100%. But so while that video was playing, I actually kind of I looked up this article, right? I'm gonna flip this back over. And so America being prosecuted for wiping his phone before handing it over to border officials. He's being prosecuted for giving border officials a code that wiped his phone. The case centers a feature. Hold on, let me make this a little bigger for you. There, that's better. The case centers on a feature included in Graphene OS, a custom Android operating system that runs in place of software of modern Google Pixel devices. Tunic's attorney confirmed Graphene OS was running on his phone. The software feature allows the device owner to set a passcode that deliberately wipes the contents of that device if entered instead of the user's unlock passcode. Tunic's case also raises ongoing questions about what constitutional rights can be invoked at the border, which the U.S. government has long asserted is not U.S. soil until a person is authorized to enter. And they do that so that people can't say I flew to America. Now I'm in America, so now I can claim I'm on U.S. soil, so now I can like claim whatever rights I want to, you know. And let's see here. And he wasn't under arrest either. There's apparently three more stories. Graphene says that the feature is completely legal. Um, we have no obligation to weaken any of our security protection it provides. Creating the using Graphene OS is strongly protected by the U.S. Constitution. Laws attempting to make it illegal or require weakening the security would be unconstitutional. And it says it's hard to know how much the Constitution matters in the U.S. right now. This is all very true, guys. This is all very true. I guess the moral of the story is that, well, let's see what's in the chat. Let's see here. Grumpy Acre says, it's funny. I just talked about principles of the morals behind this on our live last night. There you go, guys. There you go. And Bob says, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you, Bob. I haven't seen you in a while. Gregory says, Gregory, one of our winners in the past. He says, as an American, if I'm in or out of my country, my government still has to adhere to my rights. Boom. 100%. 100%. Okay. So with that said, you know, I really do love this story. Um, And I love this story because it's clear they're going to be like, they'll be like obstructing justice or, interfering with an investigation. And, the thing is it's like that's right up there with the right to remain silence. This is also a Fourth Amendment issue, as well. Um, I hate to say it, the government's going to lose. They're absolutely going to lose. There's no way they can win because it hits two of our constitutional amendments, and it's just flat out wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because that's government overreach at its best. And this is probably one of the reasons why this has not been more public. I'm going to ask Rock. What is the status? Um, Let me go ahead and we'll just see what it has to say. I don't think I'm going to show you guys, but we're gonna see what it has to say. We'll see. If I find anything good, then we'll go from there. We'll throw that over into Grok. I'm gonna do some copying and pasting, and I'm gonna say, what is the current status of this case? Question mark. And we're gonna go and throw a link in there. And I'm gonna fix my spelling because I'm bad at it. So I throw it over there on Grok. What? I'm not going to sign up for free. Get out of here. I'm not going to. I don't know why they try to trick me. You guys know you don't have to pay for Grok, right? Just go into X. There's a button for Grok. Just use that. And there's no limitations on things either, like ChatGPT. And it's thinking right now. Let's see here. Cindy Lou says, sadly, it is a gray area. Well, here's the thing. It's all about the purpose. So they're going to try and say that his constitutional rights don't apply because it's not U.S. soil. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because when they laid out that rule, they had to give guidelines. And in those guidelines, it probably says this does not apply to U.S. citizens. It's probably that easy. All right, let's see here. Was stopped January 5th, including the case involving U.S. ongoing in district court with no final resolution and trial date as of early August. So he's not gone to trial yet, and so that means that the government hasn't dropped it yet. There was an evidentiary hearing on July 20th. Let's see here. Hearing is left open to potential supplementary testimony. Government response is due. So defense opening brief is due September 18th. The government response is due October 9th. A ruling is not expected before late October at the earliest. No trial has been set. And if you're curious about this, I can, believe it or not, I can, where are we at here? Share, and I can copy a link, and I can even throw that in there for you guys to read later. That is magical stuff I just did for you. All right, let's see here. Gregory says the government might lose, but make your life miserable in the meantime. Oh yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you in many cases, if the government charges you with something and you beat them in court and then you try to sue them, there's a lot of government clauses that say you're not allowed to do that. But there are a few there. You have to show that you've been damaged. Okay. And the easiest way to do that is the cost of a lawyer. It's really, that's really what it comes down to. So, um, what do we got here? In the middle, Bradley says in the Middle Ages, it was in the name of God. In the USA, it was innocent until proven guilty. Now it's what rules can we write? What can rules can we write that give us a loophole in their rights? Yeah, unfortunately, we're starting to see more of that stuff. And it looks like Grumpy is replying to Bradley. This is why the U.S. government has this is why the U.S. government has foreign governments do these things and run of people's rights. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off. My feet are getting cold. I gotta turn that power off over there. Okay, guys. Let's see here. I'm gonna push a button. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. And yeah, let's see what this does. Everyone, quick pause in the stream. I've got something important to tell you. If you've ever thought, what if somebody in my family at work or even in the road starts bleeding badly? Could I actually stop it before help arrives? That's where the Kentucky Sustainable Living, also known as KSL Bleeding Control Kit, comes in. This compact, purpose built kit is designed exactly for those terrifying moments, auto accidents, workplace injuries, outdoor mishaps, or worse, when every second counts. And for just $86, you get professional grade tools that follow real stop the bleed principles. The combat proven Cat 7 tourniquet, the hyphen chest seal to handle penetrating wounds, the 4-inch trauma dressing, 2 packs of compressed gauze for packing trauma, shears, and even a friggin' Schlesman pressure wrap. Schlesman, maybe some neutral gloves and even some clear instructions if you haven't read those before. Now, oddly enough, one customer, Tina Muse, actually used hers the very first day it arrived. Her husband nicked a varicose vein, and the kit got the bleeding under control fast. Until they could add a clotting agent. She called it the quote great timing and great product. That was actually in one of her reviews, or actually in her review, one of her reviews. It's small enough for your glove box, backpacking, desk drawer, or even a wall mount and cabinet for schools, churches or offices. And Kentucky Sustainable Living builds this with real preparedness in mind. No fluff, just reliable tools to potentially save a life. Now, if you're serious about protecting yourself and the people around you, you need to grab one at KentuckySustainableLiving.com. There's a link in the description, as well as a savings code, making this kit even more affordable. I think you're going to be very surprised. Please don't wait for an emergency to wish you had one of these things, one of these kits. All right, let's get back to the live stream. Okay, so two things, guys. Two things. One, I really need to cut that advertisement down by about a minute. It's a 2-minute advertisement, but I was caught in a little bit of a dilemma when I made that. So in the future, I will try to cut that down to 1 minute. The next thing is that code, the local prepper project may not work. Give it a try, but if that doesn't work, just type in local prepper, all one word, and that will definitely work. Okay, so when that said, I didn't see anything come into the comments while we were on that break. I actually used that time to get more coffee. That's really the purpose of my breaks because I can just go to the coffee maker and go. Yum, 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 yum. All right, so let's see here. The next thing that I wanted to show you guys, this comes out of Task and Purpose. Um, so the U.S. Army is ending. Um, let's see, have some wit and buy the kit. I can tell you, it is the least expensive trauma kit on the market, and it's full of quality stuff. Just saying, just saying. How's that for a sales pitch? It's not bad. It's not. It's catchy. It's catchy. Um, but I'll be honest with you guys. Let me switch back. I want to tell you something. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm kind of moving away from. I do gear reviews every Wednesday. Okay, they drop at 7:30 in the morning every Wednesday. I'm getting a lot of reviews, flashlights, radios. I've got to do another one for a water pure. I've just got a water purifier. Where the hell's, oh, it's way over there, so I can't go get it. An electric water filter. It's pretty cool. Um, but and it's I'll tell you a story about that in a second. But um, I'm trying to move completely away from the whole sales pitch idea because I don't want to sell these people's products. I want to show you the product and tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want you to see how it works. And I know that I can do it very well because I never get any comments like, "Hey, show me this," or "Hey, show me that." That's not true. Can you show me this? Prove this. I never get any of that. The comments in my videos are like it's like a ghost town. You know, you see the little tumbleweed like going through the screen. Nobody ever leaves any comments. Um, but I mean, a good reviews on it. My click through rate is great. People buy stuff. So I know I'm doing it right. I just want to make it very clear that I'm not here to sell shit. So yeah, there's that. And funny story, on the water uh um filter, the electric water filter that I have to do a review on, it's that filter has gone out to several other people in the YouTube preparedness space, and they are screwing it all up. In fact, the company, they're reviewing the videos for the other people, and I don't want to, I don't want to say anything bad, Alaska Prepper. And but literally they're reviewing the videos that have been made in the last 2 weeks that people have made because mine comes out differently. Um, and they're telling they're like, don't say this and don't say that. This is not correct. You know what I'm saying? And they give you like some stats to use. And they're not correcting themselves, they're correcting the people who made videos for them. They want to make sure that when I make a video that I'm not saying the same stuff that the other guys said. Interesting, right? Yeah, that's right. I got my shit in one bag, guys. That's why you watch me. All right, let's see here. Cindy says, When I think of water for emergency, I don't think anything that uses power or batteries." No, I'm tracking with you. I'm tracking with you. It's just another tool. You know what I'm saying? It's not for everybody. And it's like well, let me put it to you this way: if your mindset, Cindy, and I'm not hacking on you, okay? But with that mindset, if you lived in a situation, if you took that ideology into a different situation that you are in now, where you needed to possibly desalinate water, you would need power. If you needed to remove forever chemicals, you would need power. Okay. So just saying, it's not for everybody. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys this, kind of let you know what your government's doing over here, which is actually kind of a good thing. And so this is Army ends an anonymous reporting for harassment complaints. Soldiers will only be able to make confidential reports, and the Army will aim for more mediation and facilitation instead of full-blown investigations. If you guys didn't know this, in the U.S. military, there's something called the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And if a member makes an allegation, there must be an investigation. An investigating officer is appointed. It could be a staff non-commissioned officer or a commissioned officer. And that person would do the investigation and then report their findings back to their commanding officer. If anything is found to be true or not in the right, then charges can be filed against that service member by the commanding officer himself. So, with knowing that, in the past there is a reporting portal, also known as a portal where you can report harassment anonymously. Now, we all know that this doesn't, it's like, well, we don't, there's no, we don't want any repercussions, so we're going to report anonymously, right? Well, the problem with that, as usual, everything, there's always there's always someone who screws it up for someone, and it's all about the abuse of the system. So, under the current system, you can use this portal and you can make a claim against somebody anonymously. And yeah, you guys know where I'm going with that, right? I hope you do. If you know where I'm going with that, put a one in the chat. Let's wake the chat up real quick. We got 9 people in here. Let's do more than this. And if you're driving, no, don't do anything on the tech side. So the system was being abused. The system has been getting abused for years, and in fact, that system went into play when old Barry was the president. It just wasn't used very much, and it only seems to ever get used whenever we have somebody with a D next to their name as the president. So it was very easy to cause damage to somebody else, and while it's an unofficial record, okay, you still have people coming to talk to you, and people know what's going on because, oh, hey, see that guy? That guy is NIS. That guy is Naval Investigative Service. That guy is DoD Investigative Service. You know what I'm saying? That guy's an Army MP investigator. People know who people are in the military because they had to come, they had to show their credentials to the unit commanding officer, work their way down through the chain of command to do their job. Okay. Now, unfortunately, this also means that people will there will be more people involved, and that the good thing is that the person making the report will be identified, and that means that if you're legit, it doesn't matter who you are, but if you're full of it, then you're going to be in some trouble. You are going to be in some trouble. And I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome because, I mean, you know, I, when you're in the military, especially in the Marine Corps, it's like when you go up for some boards or when people talk to you like a commander, and they'll ask you things like, what's your number one leadership trait, or what's your number one leadership principle? Because they're always trying to get you to be a leader at some point in your career, to lead, because that's what Marines do. Mine was always integrity every time somebody asks. And then they would try to trick you because, you've got your leadership traits and principles, and there's a lot of them. And they would try to trick you to see if you actually knew what you were talking about. And mine was integrity because it's simple. Every man or woman should live and die by their word. If you can take somebody's integrity, you can destroy them. If you can't take their integrity, they're untouchable. They are the people that we want our children and our grandchildren to be. And so integrity has always been my number one. And if you're in a system that allows you to scream the loudest voice and point at somebody while never being looked at, then that system is flawed. So, okay, that's enough of that rant right there. Let's see here. We did the iPhone. We did the iPhone thing. Let's see if I've got anything. We did the flock camera. We did Apple dropping their stuff off. Um, what do you guys want to talk about? If you got, if you have a subject you want me to yammer on about for about 10 or 15 minutes, let me know. I'm going to sip a little bit of coffee. I'm going to check the chat. I see Cindy agrees. Blaine, good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you in a while. Ian agrees. Oh, goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. I'm going to give the chat a second. Oh, to catch up. I just kicked a metal box under my desk. Oh my God. Let's see. E4 Mafia for life. Listen, man, I tell you what, freaking that I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps, and my time as a corporal of Marines was unbelievable. I've and it was, I hate to say it, it's really changed. I watched it change while I was in the Marine Corps. But when I was a corporal, we ran everything. Sergeants were gods, and the only time you talked to a staff NCO, an E6 or above, was when something was extremely wrong or you were getting an award. Corporals were gods. We ran everything. Everything. There was no sneaking around. We saw everything. And God forbid, you tried to bow up on an NCO on a corporal. There'd be like 10 corporals that would just mysteriously appear around this person to let him know that we're about to go to the tree line and you're going to have a bad freaking day. Those were the days. I mean, like the hair on my arm is sticking up right now because of such the way it felt to be an NCO in the Marine Corps in the early 90s, and I'm sure even earlier than that. NCO corporals were so powerful. E4s, okay, for those that aren't familiar with the Marine Corps rank structure, but corporals in the Marine Corps ran stuff so much that they actually were on the drill field as drill instructor or assistant drill instructors. They didn't wear the Smoky Bear covers, okay? Or actually, they're technically the only hat, actually the second one, but they're only the official hat in the Marine Corps. Those Smoky Bear covers. Um, they didn't wear those, but they were right next to drill instructors and they ran shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy how powerful corporals E4s and to that resonance to this day, an E4, a corporal of Marines, is not considered an NCO, cannot go to the NCO club in the Air Force. If those clubs still exist, because I know they were in the process of like intermingling everything. I went to the NCO club in I think it might have been Osaka or Yokota, Japan, and I was playing pool, and the guy I was playing against was a Fulberg colonel, and they just thought that was the greatest thing. He was down there rubbing elbows with everybody. We were best buds, you know. Crazy, crazy. All right, let's see here. If a person makes a false claim, the person making it, they should get the same punishment as the person would have gotten. Oh, well, I'm sure. I'm positive. I'm sure that they're going to hit them. The military has Article 134, which is the catch-all, and that catch-all is basically it's kind of like a law, and they can use it for anything they want to. And there's also making false official statements, which is up to 10 years in prison. If you didn't know that. Yep. Yeah. $10,000 fine, 10 years in prison, making false official statements. So Bradley sent star for Tool Jewels. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. I don't know that so much. I'm just going to start it's like slamming the heart button. I'm just going to start slamming the hard button. You guys start slamming some of the other buttons if you want to. I don't even know what this stuff does. I don't know what the jewels do. I don't know what any of that stuff is. And if it's bad, if I find out it's bad, I'll tell you to stop doing it because I feel like you had to pay a penance or some pence to be able to send me 2 jewels. I appreciate you, bro, but I'll never see a penny of that money. Okay. So we've talked about all those different little things. I made my $1.32 from BitChute for 2 years worth of work. Let's see. Bradley says, I don't know what they are. It just said I can redeem them. Okay. Hey, buddy, you know what I'm saying, man? If it's free, it's good for me. And it should be good for you too. Okay, it looks like I've been going at this for around an hour, I think. What's it say here? What's it say? There's normally a timer someplace. Yeah, I just went over an hour. I'm at an hour and 1 minute, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I plan to do a scheduled live stream tomorrow. I'm going to have to figure out what. Do you guys have any subjects that you want me to talk about tomorrow? At my normally scheduled live stream. I'll probably go right at 10 a.m. like I normally do. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking, would you guys like to see earlier live streams? Because sometimes I feel like I'm doing it too late. I feel like I'm like not. I don't feel like I'm in the right time spot for you guys. So let me know in the comments. Bradley says, could be from one creator to another, working on some stuff for a channel. Oh boy. On here, I got the info, my reference mainly for myself. Oh, I see. Well, Bradley, you're going to have to tell me offline about your channel because I will be glad to help you with anything that you want to know about the YouTubes because it can be a very dark and dangerous and nefarious place to navigate and lose your soul for developers. Are they good things for the apocalypse? Tacos and beer, are they good things for That's a great, that's a great, that's a great question. Tacos and beer, are they good for the apocalypse? Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna do the research. Tacos and beer, are they good for the apocalypse? Tacos and beer. Tacos and beer. I'm typing it up right now. Good for the. Of course, I misspelled apocalypse. I think everybody does. All right. So I typed it into my little save me place, and I'm going to do some research. We're going to find out because I love that idea, man. That's right up there with thrive, not survive, because surviving sucks. Okay, that's going to be about it, guys. That's a hit or miss for me. All right, guys, take it easy, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.